As Nancy said, I am a geriatric dentist. I am a former faculty at the University of Texas Dental School. But perhaps more importantly, I want you to realize that I was a certified nursing assistant many years ago in a nursing facility. And I am also the daughter of 2 aging parents. So you can see that I'm very excited to be able to speak to you, the caregiver, and to be able to actually show you some of the things that I've experienced along with you. For example, I, like you, have experienced the joy, the fear, the frustration, the exhaustion that can come with those of us who have been on the front line of caregiving. I was reminded this in a very dramatic way just a couple of weeks ago when I had to make an emergency trip back home to my parents' house because my mom was hospitalized. I found myself in a position where I had to become the primary caregiver for my father, who has dementia. So like a good dentist daughter that I was, I asked my father to brush his teeth. A few minutes later, I went into the bathroom to see how he was doing, and he had actually taken a comb, put gel toothpaste on his comb, and was applying toothpaste in his hair. And if that wasn't bad enough, when I then took the toothbrush and started brushing his teeth, I was astounded by the amount of blood that I saw in his mouth. So you can imagine when he was spitting blood into the sink, I felt not only like a failure as a dentist, but I felt a failure as a daughter. So I'm including myself when I talk to you about some of the frustrations and challenges that we have as caregivers on the front line. And I'm here to tell you that we cannot do it alone. I cannot do it alone. You cannot do it alone. And we have to look to the support and the expertise of the entire community who's dedicated to helping the frail elderly. And that begins with awareness. And that begins with the acknowledgement that basic routine dental care is essential, especially in the lives of the frail elderly. This presentation is actually the first of a 2-part series. Today I'm going to go over some basic concepts about awareness and goals. The next presentation, which is in May, will actually go into more of some of the specific techniques that we can use to provide daily care for the elderly. Because as you know, if you are a primary caregiver, brushing the teeth is a lot easier said than done, especially if you have someone who's not cooperative. So what we'll focus on today is some of the unique barriers to oral health in the frail elderly. We're going to really appreciate our role as caregivers in the early recognition of certain problems. We're going to identify some of the most common problems, and then we're going to end the presentation today by discussing the concept of priority-driven care and also the idea of oral neglect in the elderly. As you know, as frontline caregivers, there is a lot of barriers to the elderly receiving care. In fact, it's no surprise that the elderly have the greatest oral health needs, but yet they receive the least regular oral care. These photos represent just a small percentage of the things that I see on a daily basis. These problems started out as very minor problems, but can quickly become serious problems. But I'm here to say that you can make a difference, I can make a difference if we team up together and we utilize the resources and expertise of other people who have the same mission as we do. For example, occupational therapists can help team with us, physical therapists, DONs, nursing administrator directors, dental hygienists, CNA. So we have to look at everyone supporting each other in order to make a difference. Now we all know that the good news is that we're living longer and we're living longer, healthier lives. This is one of my all-time favorite patients. He's 103 years old, and when we asked him if he could walk, he jumped up and said, "I can dance and I can skip." He is not who we're talking about today because he is almost fully dependent. He is able to take care of his own oral hygiene, and as a matter of fact, he got a couple of implants just a year ago. But the other side of the coin is that we are just living longer. With the advances in medical care, people, frail, elderly people, are living longer and longer with very complicated, debilitating diseases, physical and cognitive limitations that will limit even their access to basic care like daily oral care. So as a dentist, since their care and their access to care is so limited, by the time they come to my office, these problems are usually quite extensive and quite serious. So hopefully by the end of today, we're going to see how we can do some early detection, early prevention, so that it doesn't become a catastrophic problem.